What's up, everybody? It's Stuck in Carbonite, and today we're going to be talking about the future of G.I. Joe. And I'm going to get into specifics in a little bit. I do think that G.I. Joe is on an upward trend right now. I think that G.I. Joe is gaining more traction than it has honestly, in several years. And I am extremely excited because I'm not saying G.I. Joe never got any love, but I think that now it's getting the love and attention it deserves for a lot of reasons. Number one, the G.I. Joe classified action figure line from Hasbro is amazing. It is, my personal opinion, I think it's the best 6-inch action figure line. I have quite a few on these top two shelves. Absolutely love the figures. I don't have the monies and the funds to afford them all, but I get them when I can. And honestly, they're some of my most favorite toys. They're great, and they pose well. They look awesome. All of the above. And the people that even don't like GI Joes, they mix in well with your Star Wars, your Marvel, your DC. Well, not really DC because I guess they're the 7-inch scale. But anyways, what I'm saying is they look good with any other figure in that scale because they're just awesome. Secondly, GI Joe is very successful with the comics. Skybound, ever since they got the license to make the G.I. Joe comics, they have their own new run that is tied into the Energon universe. And if you don't know what the Energon universe is, it started off with Void Rivals, which then kind of went into G.I. Joe and Transformers. And eventually, all these stories, because they're taking, place in the same universe around the same time, they're all going to intermingle, and then we're going to get G.I. Joe and Transformers team up crossover stuff. So yeah, that's going to be awesome. And so far, they are killing it. The reviews are overwhelmingly positive, and even the people that aren't really diehard G.I. Joe or Transformers fans are getting into the Energon universe because the story is so good. It's so great. So kudos to Skybound for really releasing really good stuff. And, also Larry's continuing his A Real American Hero run through Skybound. And then Skybound's doing their own individual run, which is freaking crazy. So much G.I. Joe love within the comic industry. It is insane. And if you think about it, last year in July, they did the Kickstarter for the Compendium set, which is all of the Marvel issues from A Real American Hero, 1 to 155, I believe. The complete run from Larry Hama that you could get it for like $300 something. I didn't have the money at the time, so I had to pass on it because I just thought that if I put that money down, especially with all the other stuff I had going on, I just wouldn't be able to make ends meet. But I probably could have. Now I'm looking back on it, but it doesn't matter because I'm getting the soft covers that are the mass retail release. I'm getting them as they release. Like I have issues 1 through 50 now that I'm currently reading. So yeah, we have that. That's good. But, enough talking about comics. G.I. Joe is on fire. Okay? So we got good action figures. We got good comics. You know what goes great with action figures and comics? Maybe a really awesome TV show or a wonderful new movie. And personally, if I had to pick, I would love a new animated series for G.I. Joe over a live action movie. And I'm going to give you my reasons why. But first, I will have to mention, if you watched Transformers Rise of the Beast, or if you didn't, spoiler alert, at the end of the movie, the main human character, Noah Diaz, is basically offered a job to work with G.I. Joe. That was awesome for me. I was giddy in the theater. I know a lot of people don't really like Rise of the Beast. You either love it, you hate it, or you're kind of in the middle. I don't think I've ever seen anybody beyond that. I actually kind of like Rise of the Beast. I enjoy it for what it is. I'm not a true hater of that movie, and I'm actually excited for the crossover. With that being said, I think Paramount released an article saying that they're scheduled to release that movie in 2026, which is honestly very soon. I'm excited, but I'm also worried because I think they'll butcher G.I. Joe, and the TF fans, they're not happy about G.I. Joe being in live-action Transformers. I am, because this is something I've always dreamed of. But at the same time, considering all of the live-action G.I. Joe movies compared to all the live-action Transformers movies, I think 9 times out of 10, the people are going to pick Transformers over G.I. Joe if you were to compare, all the movies together compared to G.I. Joe, even though a lot of people don't like the live-action Transformers movies. But anyways, we could talk about that forever. But, we have that coming up. But outside of the live action films, I think an animated series would be perfect. And the only reason why I say I want an animated series is because of the success of other animated series that I just absolutely like adore. And number one being X-Men 97. I think X-Men 97 understood the assignment, right? The creators really took an already existing like storyline with wonderful characters, a great cast, and just amplified it times 10. Better written story, more meaningful, in my opinion, more impactful, and just the stakes were so much higher. Like I just don't see how you can outdo the original show. You know what I mean? Like if somebody said, "Hey, we're gonna do G1 Transformers or G1," I mean not G1, but A Real American Hero, the original series, I don't think it would be as good. Like if you tried to redo it or continue it today, I just don't think it would be well. Because I mean, to be honest, I think towards the end of A Real American Hero, well, I guess kind of into the Deke series, and towards the end of Transformers, with like G2 and stuff, it was kind of falling off. I think like the earlier stuff was really good, and I feel like if they tried to pick up where they left off or do something like that with kind of like how they did with X-Men, it just wouldn't work. Maybe that's just my personal opinion, but what my point that I'm trying to make here is they took an OG cartoon and they made it awesome again while staying faithful to the OG cartoon. You get what I'm saying? So like they did some modernizing, they did some things, flipped around some stuff, especially like the fight sequences and all that. That was great. The new animation style, whether you love it or hate it, I thought it was great for X-Men. But like just imagine if we get something like that for G.I. Joe. We get the essence of the characters we know and love, but give them some better dialogue. Nothing that's so cheesy and corny. Like give them some substance. Something to build off of. Create some stakes. Throw in some drama. Like even romance. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we could do with G.I. Joe that we're just not seeing. And just to mention a few prime examples of great animated G.I. Joe, the first two projects that come to my mind is G.I. Joe Resolute and G.I. Joe Renegades. If you don't know what they are, please look them up because they're both amazing. I prefer Resolute. I think Resolute is awesome. But it was also like a mini series that kind of aired on Adult Swim. I think in like little intervals, 2 to 5 minute episodes or whatever. But all together, you can buy it on DVD. It's about an hour and a half. It's very fast paced. A lot of stuff happens in a very short amount of time, but it is absolutely awesome. I think it's the best modernization of A Real American Hero, and it's gritty. It's dark. It's got some, just really good dialogue. The story is really good considering how fast paced it is. Because of the format, and how it was released. But I wish we could have got more of it. And the only reason why I say that is because most people that watch it, you might not get too attached to the characters because we don't spend too much time with them. You get one scene with this character and you kind of fast forward to another scene with different sets of characters and it kind of goes back and forth, which is awesome. But I do see where people could have issues with that. And then with G.I. Joe Renegades, that show, I think a lot of people are kind of mixed on that one. I absolutely love it. My biggest problem with the show is probably the bio vipers, that like the whole tech side of it, the very sciencey stuff. And I know G.I. Joe has always had that element, but that was always my least favorite part about the show is they made it too sci-fi in certain aspects. But what I really loved about it is the way they portrayed Cobra. And I think this would work with a new modern G.I. Joe cartoon. Like Cobra basically had agents in the U.S. government. Cobra is considered a company known to Americans, right? So Cobra is, the leader in pharmaceuticals. They're the leader in retail. They're the leader, like, in technology. Like, this company is, portraying itself as, oh, we're the leader in the world right now for all of your best products and needs. But deep down, they're a terrorist organization, and a group called G.I. Joe is uncovering that. They're trying to uncover the truth and provide evidence, you know? And I think that would be awesome, seeing that in a new animated series. But if we do an animated series, I don't, people might disagree with me here, but I don't think we need the full roster of all the Joes and all of the Cobras. And hear me out before you start raging and yelling at your phone or computer, whatever. I think that if you do that, it gets too convoluted, right? I know that's what makes G.I. Joe awesome, is the amazing cast of characters, but I think we need to start small. You know, introduce your main characters, like your Dukes, your Flints, your Scarlets, your Snake Eyes, your Lady Jays. Like, get those main core characters in. And for Cobra, you know, the same thing, like your Cobra Commander, Destro, Baroness, Storm Shadow. Get the main team in there and then build upon that. Because I feel like if we really focus on a set group of characters, kind of like how Renegades did, but you know, I don't want it to be like just a one 5-man team that we focus on the entire show. I don't want that. I'm just saying start small so then we can get used to these characters, have affinity for them, you know, get attached to them, and then build upon that by introducing new characters along the way. I think that would be excellent. So, yeah, I think an animated series is the way to go. I mean, it seems like more adults are watching cartoons than the kids, and it would be great if they made the show, you know, appealing to adults and kids. So then the whole family can sit down and watch it. You know, I think that would be awesome. I don't know if X-Men 97 had that effect, because, you know, X-Men 97 had some pretty dark and gritty stuff. And I'm not saying that G.I. Joe can't. I'm just saying that, you know, I want kids to be able to enjoy this show too, because they're going to be the ones that continue to help G.I. Joe grow throughout the years, right? But it would be awesome to have a brand new series that everybody can love and not hate, you know? Because it seems like anytime you want to talk about G.I. Joe, people want to bring out the live action movies and say, Rise of Cobra sucks, Retaliation sucks, Snake Eyes sucks. You know, like yes, I know. Like, I love Retaliation personally because it tried to course correct from Rise of Cobra. But, you know, what was holding it back is that it was a sequel to the Rise of Cobra. And then Snake Eyes, that was just, I walked out of that theater so frustrated because I felt for Storm Shadow. You know, I'm not supposed to feel some type of way for Storm Shadow. He stole the movie, but it's titled Snake Eyes, and it made me hate Snake Eyes. But you know, I digress. I'm not here to talk about the live action stuff. I'm here to talk about the future and potentially getting an animated series. I think that would be amazing. Now, do I think they'll ever do it? Probably not. I don't know if there's a demand for it. Well, let me rephrase that. I think a lot of people would be for it, but I don't think there's enough people to create that demand for, I guess Paramount would be the ones to pick up the mantle because they've done all the other Transformers and G.I. Joe stuff, right? But like, whoever does it, it would be awesome to see an animated series with Joe, because I feel like if you have a show to go along with the comics or the new action figures you're releasing at the time, that just makes it all more worthwhile, in my opinion, because then you are heavily marketing on that. You are just, you know, reaching for the stars at that point. And, you know, you're capitalizing on this game. You know, like right now, G.I. Joe is just climbing. And I would hate for it to go down and then they try to bring it back later and it just flop. You know what I mean? I think now's the time. Somewhere in the near future, I think if Hasbro really wants to take advantage of this, they really need to jump on it now. And you know, I do remember seeing somewhere where the CEO was talking about the product sales and merchandise sales will not help fund like shows and movies now. If anybody knows that for sure, be sure to comment and correct me on that. But yeah, let me know what you think. Would you guys love to see a G.I. Joe show or movie? I mean, I'm excited for the Transformers and G.I. Joe crossover, but, you know, I do have my worries and concerns because, you know, we don't have really any exposition or story beforehand leading up to it other than Rise of the Beast. So, yeah, I mean, I'm a little worried, but I'm excited. But I would also love a G.I. Joe show. I think it'd be awesome because we've seen successful stuff before. We've seen X-Men 97. I mean, I don't know how many people felt about Batman Cape Crusader, but I thought it was pretty cool too. So we're kind of seeing like rehashes of old shows and cartoons, and they've just been good. So why can't GI Joe have it? You know, I just don't get it. I mean, maybe it's just because, you know, not maybe, I know it's not as popular, but I think they would just crush it, man. You know, there's a lot of new people on board because of Classified and the Skybound comics. So those guys, they've really put in the hard work, and I think that if there's a really good, passionate team that really cares about the brand and the characters, they can make a really great animated show. But yeah, guys, I believe that's all for me. I'm going to quit yapping. It's been about 15 minutes and some change. But anyways, thank you if you stopped by to listen to me yap about G.I. Joe. Thank you for stopping by. And, you know, please share your thoughts in the comments, but let's please have a peaceful discussion. Let me know what you guys think, because, you know, everything I said is opinionated. That's just my opinion, what I would love to see. And I know people have their own ideas and, you know, their own creative and imaginative ways of thinking. So if there's something cool that you have in store for G.I. Joe that you'd like to see, please share. I'd love to hear your stories or your ideas. But anyways, again, thanks, guys. I really do appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful day. Remember, stay frosty and stay blessed. I'll see you guys in the next one.